Great morning. Jeremy's speech, I'm still a bit sort of punch drunk from it because there was so much in it. I think pretty much everything I found really exciting. But then I was a sucker from the moment the music started. We had the Liverpool People's Choir singing "She's Not Heavy, She's My Sister," and what was the other one they sang? I don't know, but it was very emotional, and that started the long and winding road. That was great as well. So that set the tone really. Jeremy's speech covered many different things. I was particularly pleased that he made a very strong and personal commitment to the Jewish community and to all religious minorities, that we would stand with them and we would protect their places of worship and their communities with all of our hearts. It was a completely sincere commitment, and the whole audience rose as one for that. And I think that was I felt it was a healing thing. I know everything's not over yet, but there was a real attempt to heal. The green policies sound amazing. He wants to set up a sort of a green economy to focus on the green industries and to have a trained, very large, I think it was 400,000 jobs potentially, become leaders in that kind of green engineering, and actually honour our commitments and take it further than the Paris Agreement and Kyoto Agreement. So he was very sort of strong on that. Childcare, 30 hours genuinely free, universal childcare, which I think will make a lot of difference to a lot of people. A minimum of £10 for the childcare workers. All of this really caused a big ripple through the audience. People loved it. There were lots and lots of other things in the speech today, and we will sit down and try and sort of bring that back to you in a different way. It's hard to remember everything. Keir Starmer was very good yesterday. He seemed very much in control. He was obviously, and indeed the whole conference, and Jeremy was really pleased that we've been able to come to some agreement, and our wonderful delegates spent a lot of hours hammering that out together. It isn't ideal, it is a compromise, but it does keep all options on the table, and I think even Jeremy committed to that today. My concern about that, and I think a lot of people, is we've got such a brilliant programme now. We want the government, our government, to be able to implement that, but we're still concerned about what a mess could be made of Brexit. So that is still a worry. The vote on Palestine yesterday, the whole event actually yesterday, it was extraordinary. Loads of people had brought in their flags and, stood and cheered and waved. And again, it's my feeling is that there is a great deal of sincerity behind what is going on. It's much more difficult to work these things out in terms of the detail, everyday detail. But when you've got the impetus to do it and the motivation, and you know that people are with you, there is a momentum that carries you forward into trying to get through all the difficulties that will actually always manifest themselves. We're just trying to think what else. Dawn Butler's speech. Emily Thornberry. Emily Thornberry was big on nostalgia. There was stuff about the international brigades and an early history of radical action that were quite touching, but again, not a lot of detail in terms of where we were going with some of it. But again, it brought us together, and I agree very much with Evelyn that what the theme of this conference would be is that we're united. We know that the problems aren't solved, but what the conference does is to bring you together. It's to give you a vision of where this party is trying to go, and it's a bloody good vision. The practicalities are something else.
Okay, that's good. Show us your book.
I still think this.